Hi, and welcome to Screens and Focus Podcast, where we share and connect as we spotlight our favorite shows and movies. I'm Diana.
And I'm Brooke.
And this is episode 111. Today we're talking about what we're watching: Fear the Walking Dead, Mare of Easttown, Thunder Force, plus documentaries, sci-fis, comedies, and animation. We've got so much to share. Before we dive in, I want to know, how are you doing, Brooke?
I'm doing really good. Thank you so much. I'm just enjoying hanging out with you as our usual every other Saturday podcast. It's so nice to still be able to hang out with friends.
I know. It's so awesome. Yeah, I love it.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I am excited about the Oscars. I just am. And I loved our conversation about the Oscars. So everyone will have to check that podcast out. So
I know. I totally teared up and I got all choked up.
You did.
When we were talking about an actor. I had to wipe away my
know.
tears and my red eyes and my red nose. So yeah, you guys need to check that episode out.
Yes, it's so. We had so much fun discussing that, and I'm so excited about all the things that I've been watching lately, and I can't wait to share them with everybody. So, but before we get into all the different recommendations we have, one of the shows that we're watching is Fear the Walking Dead. And in it, we saw that John Dory is helping Morgan and Dakota, but they need to fix this old broken down vehicle. And it got me to thinking about, because the broken down vehicle was his father's or on the property. So it's been there for a super long time and it's some old truck, but it just keeps on, trucking. And so I want to know, Brooke, did you ever have this old beat up family vehicle?
Oh my gosh. I'm not sure if I ever talked about it with you, but we did. We had a 1971, I believe, Volkswagen Bug, but it had different body parts on it. And then at one point, my brother and I, the car was parked under a cherry tree in the driveway and we used the car as a ladder. So we just trampled atop of the hood of the vehicle and it was all dented up like crazy. And we didn't even notice that. Okay.
Yeah.
And my mom came home from work and was like, what the heck happened to the car? Why is it all dented? I'm like, oh, that must have been when we were picking cherries. And then it was dented for the rest of its life until she got it fixed. But okay, come on, pulling up to junior high school in that thing, I was like, can you just drop me off around the corner, please? Don't go to the front of the school in this. But the thing was like a soda can all crumpled up.
Oh my gosh.
Driving down the street loud. The seats were torn. Yeah. She still drove us in that car.
Hey, it ran. It got you from point A to point B, hopefully.
We were like, why? What about you? Did you have a beat up family vehicle?
We had several, which is actually quite amusing. So the property that I grew up in had, pretty long driveway toward the back. And we actually had a line of cars. We at one time, my parents rented long term. It was they rented there for 30 years. And I think at one point we had to get rid of cars because, it was too many junky cars. But we had some cool kind of cars. And we had this truck, this orange truck it's a Chevy truck. And I remember driving. It was when I first started to learn how to drive. And I loved that truck. It was so cool. It was banged up, but it was a cool truck. But that was actually the cool truck, even though it was old and banged up. We had some kind of scary looking cars that, like you said, had maybe different pieces putting it together. And then I had my 69 Mustang Mach 1, which I adored, but it was always breaking down. And we always had to, the battery was always breaking down, and it was just always fixing things. There was always a vehicle to be fixed.
Wow.
When I was growing up.
Oh, question really quickly. Your 69 Mach 1 Ford Mustang reminds me of James Franco's character in Freaks and Geeks. Has he shown up in his car yet? I think that is so awesome. Like, and he just rocked that car, right? That was pretty cute. I love seeing that. I could just picture you so happy in your Mustang.
I was so cool.
So cute.
Yes, I felt so cool in that car. It was an awesome car. I loved it. Love that car.
Aw.
Miss it.
That's so fun. Oh my gosh. We must have a lot of friends out there who have very similar stories. So we want to hear from you. Let us know what you think. Did you have an old beat up family vehicle? And would you like to share your story with us? You can leave us a comment on Twitter at @in_screens or at our Screens in Focus Facebook page. You could also follow us on our Instagram and subscribe to our website. The link is in our show notes. Okay, Diana, what are you watching? Fear the Walking Dead, I'm sure.
Yes, yes. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. So Fear the Walking Dead, season 6, episodes 8 and 9. With 8, let's start with 8. And I don't want to give too many spoilers in case, people aren't up to date on this. But I have to say, I was 100% completely devastated by this episode. It hit me hard. I was not expecting it at all. It opens with John Dory contemplating suicide because he doesn't feel he's made for this world, which totally breaks my heart. He's normally such an optimist, and it just goes to show you that, mental health can really affect anyone. It can strike anybody. And he agrees to help Morgan and Dakota get to where they need to go. And his best friend, Morgan, tries to get him to come along, but cannot convince him at all. And, it isn't until he feels the need to help someone else that changes his mindset. But this episode ends with a complete and utter shock. And I would ask you to go read my blog. The day that it aired, I knew, Brooke, you hadn't watched it yet. And so I had to get it out. I could not go to sleep that night until I got my feelings on how impacted I was by this episode. And so I put out a blog. So please, I would love it if you'd go check it out, because those were my true feelings at that moment. And it has stayed with me. That's what I have to say. And I also want to mention the National Suicide Prevention Line is 800-273-8255. So anyone that may be struggling, that number is there for you.
Thank you, Diana. I too watched this episode, and you did text me sadness, and I was like, okay.
I know. I didn't want to give anything away, I think. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't expect any of that in this episode. I was completely caught by surprise. Dakota, I don't know about you, kid. I was out for you, girl. No. So, yeah, definitely, we did get answers.
Yeah,
which was good.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of answers. And then Morgan was amazing. He was an amazing friend, an amazing leader. His wound opened up again, reopened. So it reminded me that this is not, time has not really gone by very, very long. Mm-hmm. And so, and I also forgot where we left off. 'Cause I'm like, how did they end up with Dakota? I was kind of having to remember that too. So it was just complete. It felt better knowing where Morgan is at, and where John was really at. And we got to understand some of John and his past. And, you know, I just kept wondering, like, what about June? What about June?
Mhm.
John and June, you know, are they going to get back together? So, yeah. I don't know what else to say.
I
'cause
know.
It was such an impactful episode.
It was. I know.
Like, I can't say anymore. And, you know, that's
Right.
like,
That's
you
how-
have to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, Brooke, I'm right there with you. My mind is going as you're speaking because so much emotion is in this episode for what happens, and it's just I'm feeling it again. So it's like, oh my goodness, but you know, ooh.
Yeah.
So
and then in episode 9, oh my gosh, I felt so, well, one thing's for sure, it definitely felt like Avengers or something, you know, like Avengers
great.
Assemble.
I love it.
Right?
Yes.
They're like all together working, you know, to get Thanos.
Oh man, you're
So-
so good, Brooke.
Yeah, Virginia. And man, there was action, people. There was some action in the Wild West. You got to check it out because Daniel, you know, he gets a boo-boo.
Yeah.
And I'm scared for Daniel.
Yeah. A
Big old boo-boo.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
old freaking.
Man, and I kept looking at it like, ooh, every time they'd
That's
show
what I
it.
said. I saw it too. It was like, man, that's a big, huge gash in his
Dang.
brain or in his head.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how are you how are your eyes even open?
Yes.
Like how are you functioning
Uh-huh.
as a coherent person?
Mhm.
So, being that out in Lawton, you know, they had a showdown and, you know, Grace, Sarah, Daniel, Lucy, I was thinking Negan. I
Yeah.
felt like this is Negan all over again. So definitely worth watching. Amazing episode for real. And then we eventually see other characters.
Yes. Yes. I was really happy to see, I think almost every single Fear the Walking Dead character was back on this episode, except for maybe Wendell. I'm like, where's Wendell?
Oh,
I think he's the only one, but I love that we got to see everybody's faces. I thought that was really cool. And Morgan is faced with a super tough decision to make. And I didn't know what he was going to do. I mean, everybody's sitting there watching him, waiting for him to kill Ginny in front of every single person that wants her dead. And you're like, and even Ginny's all like, do it! I mean,
I know.
her neck's about to be chopped off, and she's like screaming with saliva coming out of her mouth, telling him to just freaking kill her. I was like, oh my gosh. So, but you're going to have to tune in, people, if you want to know
Yeah.
what happens.
yeah.
It's very shocking. And then we learned that Ginny is Dakota's mom, which wasn't a big shocker because they look alike. But even so, this episode ends with another doozy that left me feeling kind of satisfied. And but at the same time, I'm hoping that people don't lose their way because of it. Because, oh God, because of what happened in the previous episode with John Dory, it really changes people. And so I just find that so interesting how these people are going to cope with what has happened. And although Strand didn't end up betraying the group, he is on his own side. And we also see that Sherry would rather continue with her group instead of Dwight, which was heartbreaking. And I think that the only really positive thing that we saw was that Grace and Morgan were reunited and got to hug. So that was, at least we got that, right?
Aw. I know. Gosh, he's been so down for his lady. He's doing everything he can. And I like the message that Morgan is sending, as even to Ginny and her former sister, now daughter, Dakota.
Yeah. I agree.
think that's important. Yeah. Ginny just gets on my dang nerves. Ugh, man. But she's a very good character.
Yeah.
He's like, can you run?
I know.
She's like, I'm like, can you just like cut that whole side off of her? Because it's falling apart.
Yeah.
She's not going to have anything left.
That's true.
I can't imagine having to go run on feet, after an incident like that. But it's so good. It's so good. Can't wait to see the next episode.
Yeah.
What else are you watching, Diana?
Oh, gosh. So I just started watching, and it just started on HBO Max, Mare of Easttown. So I've seen the first episode, and I love it already. It feels realistic. It's gritty. Kate Winslet plays against type. She's a small-town Pennsylvania detective whose life is in a bit of shambles. And every character has a story and a perspective. And as we learn about them throughout the episode, a homicide occurs. So you're left really intrigued. And I think it's written really, really well. And I'm really excited to see what happens. I mean, here I've seen one episode and I've learned so much, and I'm like so excited, and I cannot wait to see what happens. So that's saying a lot when one episode can do that to you.
Yes.
So I highly recommend this from just watching one episode. Brooke, what are you watching?
Well, right now I'm just loving this really to me, it's endearing because I love my high school shows and movies. And this one it's been on my list, of shows to watch. And I finally started it because I started it because I wanted to see if it was going to be acceptable for Dominic to watch. But it turns out that it may not be. Because it's a high school show called On My Block, and it's on Netflix, and it's about these group of kids who, they're four of these kids, all from separate families, but they are so tight that they are a family, and they're in 8th grade going into their freshman year of high school, and they take a short break in between their school year. And I think they just go on vacation, or they go to camp and then they come back or something like that. Well, when they come back to high school, there's like this big rumor that's circulating between the girl and one of the boys in their little quattro group. And they are basically these kids in this minority community where there's Latin and African American influence. And so they're actually like the girl, she's a mixed girl, and I believe her mom left her when she was like 2 years old. So she's being raised by her dad. And then there's another character where he has the full family household, where there's like family coming in and out, sleeping, just other families just like taking over. And he's like, I just want my own room. But then, the next family member that comes to live with them she's like this hot cousin who's not related by blood. So he's like, all right, You can take my room. I'll do anything for you. Another kid, you know, his parents' dream for him is to be a football player. And he's like, I don't like football. I'm just going to pretend that I play football, pretend that I go to practice and figure it out later once they find out. And then this other kid, he is being raised by his brother, who's a gang member, like a leader of a gang in their community. And so he actually gets initiated into the gang, and he's in love with their friend who's a girl. So they have a secret that they're trying to not let out to their friends. And you kind of see the friends still trying to be a family and be friends, you know, and they want to get him out of the gang. So they're working at that. There's like treasure that one of the kids is trying to find. It's really entertaining and it's funny. They make me laugh. There's this one character who's like just she's like a stand-in character. She is hysterical. She is like, she's boy crazy. She wants to look hot all the time. You know, and she's just such a wild character. I love this show on my block on Netflix. Super cute. Yeah. So I just want to ask, did you watch Unhinged?
Yes.
You wanted to talk about that.
Yes. It's on Prime and it's
gosh,
crazy.
He's so crazy.
I was like scared. Seriously, I was scared.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe plays an unhinged person. And I don't think I'm giving too much away by saying in the first few minutes of the movie, he commits a really brutal act. And next thing you know, a mom and her son are pulled into this road rage situation that is completely unsettling. Holy crap. It was so scary and it felt very, very real. And it convinces you to just be nice on the road, people, because you just want to get there in one piece and it's not worth it. It really isn't worth it. It was the scariest thing I've ever seen. I mean, I think Russell Crowe is just freaking scary. You know, I was like, oh my goodness. I do not want to get on his bad side at all.
Oh my gosh. Seriously, when the family was watching it one evening and they had the surround sound on, I was like, man, that dude is crazy. And so we even have him as a joke in our family. Like we just reference his movie now, you know, and I'm just, I just couldn't believe how determined he was.
I know. He was relentless.
Mm-hmm.
It was. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah, watch it. If you want to be scared and see what can happen with road rage. Oh, God. Check it out.
Oh, man.
Oh, Brooke, tell me what else you've been watching. And I think I've seen this too.
Yes. Okay, so the kids and I, we were looking for our Friday night movie last week, and we stumbled upon Thunder Force. I don't know if you all have seen it, but if you're ready for a laugh, Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer are great together. They had us cracking up so much. Melissa McCarthy just has that way. And these two ladies, and their super abilities and their training and figuring things out, just their whole journey with their superpowers, we were just, we couldn't stop laughing. This movie was so funny. What did you think about their their humor? The comedy was great.
Melissa McCarthy is funny. She's really, really funny. I mean, sure, the premise is far-fetched. You know, this is not something that's going to happen. But if you just want to put something on to watch, check it out. She's just funny. And Octavia Spencer is a great actress, too. So it's a cute movie.
I thought it was really cute. And I also loved how they were able to display their friendship from the past and how they grew up together to the present friendship, and how, we take separate paths in life. And it's interesting to see where those journeys end up.
Yeah.
And how much we can change. So that was really nice to see in a comedy. The comedies, usually there's some drama too. And Jason Bateman, his crab hands. Oh my gosh. I couldn't stop laughing at him. I couldn't stop. And then
that is funny. They had a cool relationship, him and Melissa McCarthy. They were cool against each other.
The seasoned salt. And so also Melissa McCarthy's husband played a little role in it too. And I thought that was so funny because I love seeing him in her movies.
Right.
And that just totally made me laugh. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. You guys have to check it out. It was just too cute. What else are you watching, my dear? Or do you have any other recommendations?
Yeah, I just have a few other recommendations for people to tune in. On Netflix, Dad, Stop Embarrassing Me. It's with Jamie Foxx. This was inspired by Jamie Foxx and his daughter. I think it's Corinne. I guess she was always embarrassed by her father growing up. And so they made this sitcom from their real life adventures. And it's cute. It's funny. It actually did not get the greatest of reviews. But you know what? If you just want to laugh, and just put something on and laugh. It will make you laugh. There's a lot of stars in this, and Jamie Foxx is a crack up. He's so damn funny. He's always singing, dancing, doing crazy things, and so and I haven't seen him in anything for a while, so it was kind of fun to see him in that.
Dominic was watching that.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, he likes it.
I was recommended to watch Invincibles by my son. And I had been wanting to watch it because it is created by Robert Kirkman, who created The Walking Dead. And the voices are Stephen Yeun, Sandra Oh, and J.K. Simmons. And I believe there's other Walking Dead voices portraying characters in this. But it's an animated superhero television series, and I just started watching a couple episodes, and so it's pretty good. So I will go back and watch that show. For Earth Day, I watched The Secrets of Whales. It's on Disney Plus. Oh my gosh, I was totally taken by this beautiful series. I've only seen the first episode, and they were talking about killer whales, but these magnificent sentient mammals are just beautiful. I have such a respect for these beautiful creatures. My heart was just melting for them, and how I feel that we as humans are so close to whales. It's produced by James Cameron, and it's narrated by Sigourney Weaver, and her narration kept me on the edge of my seat. Every time they went looking for food and she would narrate what they were doing, as I was scared, I had my blanket up to me because I was like, oh my God, is something going to happen? Are they going to be able to get out of this? And it's fascinating. So I would really encourage people to watch The Secret of Whales on Disney Plus.
I want to see.
Yes, please. Your family will love it. And for movies, To All the Boys I've Loved Always and Forever on Netflix. I loved it. I saw the first one. Unfortunately, I haven't seen the second one yet, but I just had to watch the third because it's out. I just love it. I really, really do. I think it's a great film, and I encourage you to watch it. It's about romance and just, these high school aged couples and what they're going through. And so I just really love it a lot. I saw Miss Stevens on YouTube. So that's free. So if you can't, you don't have the ability to stream or watch a lot of movies, you can check this out. It's Lily Robb and Timothy Chalamet are in this, and it's about she plays a teacher who brings 3 students on a road trip to a theater competition, and so it's an indie film. But I liked it. I really enjoyed it. And I also watched Synchronic, which is on Netflix, with Captain America, Anthony Mackie, and Jamie Dornan. And this is a really good sci-fi. I think that I just read that it was like one of the top rated, it released just last weekend, a week ago, and it was one of the top rated movies to watch. And Anthony Mackie is just great. And it really makes you question alternate universes and times. It's done a little differently than other movies that have you go into a different dimension, but it really was very thought-provoking. And I really enjoyed it and really recommend it.
Wow, he's been doing some good stuff because we watched a movie where he was like an AI, and he was really good in that too. I can't remember the name of it, but
is that The Wire? Something in The Wire, or no?
Maybe
that's not it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Wired or something like that.
Or
yeah.
Oh yeah. So
he's good.
Yeah, I've been watching so many other things too, but that's my portion of my suggestions for now. Brooke, what are you watching?
So we finished up Falcon and the Winter Soldier last night, and oh my goodness, oh my gosh, I was like cheering, all loud, crazy lady in the house, you know. I was so excited. I was so grateful. A little confused at the end, but I mean, I guess whatever. I mean, with John Walker.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
The end with him. I don't know. I'm like, okay. So yeah, I'm wondering if he's gonna appear in any of the new series.
So.
Like,
yes.
Loki's gonna be coming up next. So I'm not sure if this is gonna be sequential or what, but I'm hoping so.
Did you watch through the credits?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I was gonna say there was something at the very end, at the end of the credits. So
yeah. Yeah. So, and like, what's up with her? Her too. Like,
I know
when she got shot, they're like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" You know, she's like, "Oh yeah, you know, just give me," you know, she wasn't even phased. I'm like, what's going on with her? I don't know. What's she up to? So there was some twists and turns, retaliation, and, well, I wasn't as surprised to see the Falcon, who he becomes, because we saw him training in the last episode.
Yeah.
So that was great to acknowledge so much of this social justice through these shows that we're watching. And I think it's really, really great. There's hope. And when the show ended, I just had a huge smile on my face for the future, for my kids, my sons, and their, what the future holds for them all, what their abilities, what they're able to do. I just think that this is the right direction. And I'm so thankful for Marvel. And I've been saying this all week because we've been watching so much Marvel throughout this past year that it's like really helped my family, and it's brought us together as a family, and there's positivity, and I'm just so thankful for the franchise. I really, truly am. I'll just take my money. Take my money.
I love it. I love that, Brooke. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah. Thank you. And I checked out a show. This is also a Marvel franchise, but I'm not sure what it's rated. I think it might be rated PG-13, but I'm not 100%. This one's The New Mutants, and that's on HBO Max. And Anya Taylor, Maisie Williams, and Charlie Heaton, they're some of the cast. And I look forward to this because this is supposed to be the X-Men universe. So I want to see where this goes. And this is a series. And so I'm going to start watching it without the kids to see what we're looking at, but it looks a little bit dark. So I'm intrigued because it's Marvel and it's got a little bit of darkness to it. So I'm fascinated. I really do like X-Men. So I'm looking forward to that. I did also check out some PBS documentaries. I mentioned a couple interviews that I watched on PBS in our previous podcast. And the interviews were with Andra Day and the Disney art director and their story. So, every now and again, you guys, PBS has some really good shows for us to check out. I learned about environmental racism in a documentary that was only like 25 minutes long. But to know that something like that even exists in society is like disgusting and a huge problem as to why that can't be resolved. And I just don't understand how people can be put in a residential community with factories being built like literally in their community, which just doesn't make any sense why people are living in toxic air. So that was really, really shocking that there was even that this is like that in parts of our world and our society. So I learned something through PBS. On a lighter note, I keep cracking up like every single day referencing this crazy, crazy, crazy funny, stupid, silly, creative movie called Bad Trip. Diana recommended it last week and I was like, I've been watching the trailer. Like I watched the trailer so many times and I'm like, why am I just watching the trailer to push play? So I watched it and like the car dealer or the car wash vacuum scene.
Yes, I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah. It like, I understood the premise, because there's 4 actors in the movie and then like there's some, extras that are participating, but majority of the cast, they're being pranked. So but the characters never lose character.
No.
Never.
They're so good.
And we're watching this, like this movie is filmed, with everybody on board and like, what the heck? My favorite, oh my God, there's so many favorite scenes, but you're right. Tiffany Haddish was just such a great additive. I was like this, she just made this so fun. And when the correctional bus showed up to the guy doing community service, I can't stop laughing at his face when he saw her climbing out as an escaped convict. And so many other scenes like in the art gallery when she snaps the broom in half and just screams at them, "Get out!" Oh my God, I love that movie. I'm gonna watch it again. I put it on again last night just to go over some of the scenes because it just makes me laugh.
Oh gosh.
I'll watch it over again. So funny. Bad Trip is on Netflix. There's even a White Chicks reference at the end of the movie. So please, if you get a chance to watch something silly, you have to watch this. It was so good. And I was also informed that Downton Abbey is coming out with a sequel motion picture, and that will be in Christmas 2021. So that's like a weird buffet of genres there. Right?
I love
There's
it.
so much.
Yes.
So much.
And so everybody has something to pick. That's what I loved. And that's why I was so excited to share everything that I was watching and look and everything that you're watching. People will have something to watch. There's so much.
Exactly. Yes. Thank
out.
you so much for all your recommendations, Diana. You have an amazing list of what you're watching.
Thank you. You do too, Brooke. I love it.
Oh, Yes. Well, thank you so much, everybody. That is our show. Thanks for tuning in. We are grateful that you tuned in, and we hope something we said today resonated with you and gave you a chuckle, some happiness, some positivity, or inspiration. Please subscribe to our website and follow Screens in Focus and tell a friend. We would love more members of our TV club. Also, if you could rate and review our podcast on Apple, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcast, we need your feedback. This will help other listeners find us.
Yes, thank you. We'll be uploading a new episode in a couple of weeks. Next show will be on Fear the Walking Dead, along with other TV and movie recommendations. You can find our website listed in our show notes. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.